Korea is the only divided country in the world. And that makes reports by Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang TV's Defense Ministry correspondent, all the more special.
As a Defense Ministry correspondent, you have to know all aspects of the military, whether it's Marines or Navy, all aspects and what their plans are. And you have to know all that, and you have to put that into perspective in your article.
This is one of the hospitals that was rebuilt by the RAL unit, and to whether North Korea will comply with the basic standards to deal with any type of threats from the north.
Inter-Korean relations fluctuate greatly, which means Hyun-bin always has to stay on top of things and be ready to report at any time.
That Pyongyang will conduct a ballistic missile launch.
Military trucks arrive, and people in military uniforms are spotted. Soon the site becomes more chaotic with many press members gathering. And there's Hyun-bin. Pohang is a 5-hour drive from Seoul, so Hyun-bin came down a day early to prepare for this coverage. Usually this small beach is quiet, without a soul in sight. So what's the reason for all these soldiers and press members? The helicopters flying around and unidentified boats out at sea arouse curiosity all the more.
여러분들이 KAV가 움직이는 동안은 여기 위에서만 뚝방 위에서만 촬영을 해주셔야 됩니다. 09시 45분에 F-16이 부대가 진입을 하고 그 다음에 09시 55분에 해리어기가 진입을 합니다. 수중폭파 터지는 시간은 55분입니다. 부표가 돼 있는 게 보이실 겁니다. 부표에 빨간색 깃발이 꽂혀 있는 게 있는데 그 부표 부분에서 5개가 동시에 수중폭파가 이루어진다라고.
Well, this is a joint military exercise, amphibious landing exercise with Korea and the U.S. And what's significant about this year's exercise is that it's the largest in 2 decades. More than 12,500 troops and high-tech weaponry. There's about 13 Navy vessels and about 60 different types of fighter jets and planes that took part in this exercise. It's for the Marines, for both countries to enhance interoperability and, relations between the two countries. So I thought it was going to be a good chance to show what Korean military has to offer.
The Korea-U.S. Joint Amphibious Landing Exercise is the largest in 2 decades. A U.S. soldier is busy giving a briefing on one side.
Sorry, sir.
What's the reason it's larger this year? The training is larger this year than the previous years.
Sure. What agency are you with?
Arirang TV.
Okay, good to go. Well, it's mostly opportunity. So as I was explaining before, this particular week there's actually 2 Marine expeditionary units in the same place at the same time, which doesn't happen very often. Okay. And so we're taking advantage of that to enable both of those MUs to come together to form a brigade-sized combined operation. And so it's the 2 U.S. MUs, Marine Expeditionary Units, and also a ROC MU-sized element as well. So you have Korean and U.S. MU-sized elements at one place at one time that allows that exercise to be that large.
Because in a lot of the Korean media, they say the Sangyong is part of the Full Eagle exercise.
Hyun-bin goes back and forth between the U.S. and Korean soldiers, asking detailed questions about the exercise and writing everything down. Soon, the shoreline is packed with reporters.
해리어가 50분에 오고 10시 5분.
해리어가 2번 온다고 했죠.
2번 와. 저게 오스프리예요, 오스프리.
The U.S. vertical takeoff and landing craft, also known as the Osprey, finally appears in the waters around Pohang.
저게 프로펠러가 밑으로도 내려가고 보고.
저기 오는 것 같아요. 저기 2대.
보여?
그런 거 아니에요?
저기 있네. 형 저기. 저 헬기야 헬기. 저 헬기야. 느리게 움직이잖아. 멀리서도 쑥 이 정도로 가.
True to his position as a Defense Ministry correspondent, Hyun-bin is well-versed in military-related knowledge.
지금 들어와요. 저거 찍어야 되잖아요. 근데 들어오고 있는데.
The landing exercise finally begins in full scale.
오, 깜놀.
Along with a deafening boom, a column of water soars towards the sky.
수중에 설치됐네, 저거는.
It's a training drill. But it almost felt like the real thing.
여기 탱크들이 폭발시킨 거는 이제 약간 좀 캐모플라시하게 저게 잘 적발 안 되게끔 저걸 폭발시킨 거고요. 연막탄.
The training continues, not just on land, but also in the air.
It's called a Helios. It's a fighter jet.
The soldiers pay no attention to the crowd of media and hunker down quickly for infiltration.
Korean military is trying to show that they are doing their job and they're doing it right, and trying to assure the people by showing these footage, by going on air, people will know, they're working hard and they know how they're going to protect us. It's not just their self-esteem. It's about the equipment, all the high-tech gear, and the personnel that come with it. That helps people understand that the military could keep the citizens safe.
It's not easy for the public to see such a drill, so there's a lot of competition between press members to get good coverage.
이제 LSF 공기 부항정 10시 15분.
The press members run in the sand to get the best shots. They can't miss the landing ship fast, also known as LSF, which carries tanks as well as soldiers. All the latest military equipment used in the exercise is captured by the cameras. Hyunbin is in a hurry, as the training open to the press is slowly coming to an end.
나오는 것만 연출하는 거예요?
상륙해가지고 이제 나오는 것, 이제 장면들이 화도 나오는 거.
그 탱크 뒤에서 나오는 거 지금 하는 거 지금 하는 건가요? 지금 몇 시 하나요?
어떤 거 지금 사람들 나오는 거야?
네, 사람 나오는 거예요.
지금 리플레이 지금 보여드립니다.
형, 지금 리플레이 지금 한다는 건데?
Approximately 12,000 soldiers from South Korea and the United States are taking part in this large-scale exercise.
우리 그러지 말고 우리 좀 뒤로 빠져갖고 다 같이 합시다. 뒤로 빠져, 뒤로.
There's some commotion as everyone tries to find a good spot. This kind of situation is quite common in situations like this.
이번 훈련을 통해 한미 해군과 해병대는 한 팀이 되어 전쟁을 억제할 수 있는 강력한 힘으로서 한미 연합 작전 수행 능력을 강화하고 있습니다.
잠시만 여기서 끝나고 지금 좀 있으면 케네디 장군 미 측에서 장군이 한 명 오니까 제너럴이 오니까 그때 질문할 거는 그때 질문하세요. 여기서 질문 끝내고.
Lately, North Korea has been chaotic. They've been shooting off missiles, launching multiple rocket launcher shells all over the East and West Sea. So when tensions are high, foreign media, it grabs the foreign media's attention, and especially North Korea condemned this drill specifically, the Double Dragon drills, saying it's an infiltration, it's a drill for invasion. So I believe that's why foreign media are kind of intrigued by the whole situation here with the big exercise going on and the North Korea situation up north.
There was a Q&A session with the American counterpart as well.
This particular exercise is a preparation to invade Pyongyang. What do you say to that?
This exercise is not designed to invade any particular place. This is the most complex form of military maneuver that any nation can undertake. So we practice it to get good at it.
General, is there a particular reason you set Pohang as your strategic point for your exercise?
Pohang is traditionally the area that has been designated to execute amphibious operations. Like I said, I was here 1987 was the first time I came and landed at Toksakri Beach. This is traditionally where the Korean Marine Corps trains, and it's adjacent to their larger camp, Camp Muchak. The Korean 1st Division is down here, so it's just a logical place to conduct an exercise.
Thank you, sir.
Hyunbin was the only Korean reporter to ask the general a question.
I'm extremely impressed with the
네네네.
and the abilities of
선배님 이메일로 보내드릴까요?
예, 그러시죠.
네네네. 여기 적어주시면. 네네. 김현빈 기자. 네네. 김현빈 기자. 네, 감사합니다.
When there's an English interview like today, Hyunbin's interview and translation skills help the domestic reporters in many ways.
나 나오면서 형, 나 나오면서 어디까지 나와?
앉아서요 그냥.
앉아서?
준비됐어?
이분 나오시고. Before the drill is over on April 7th. 3초 있다가. North Korea has condemned the 다시. Okay. North Korea has condemned the drills, calling them a rehearsal for an invasion. Some experts say, it is highly 좋았는데. North Korea has condemned the drills, calling them a rehearsal for an invasion. Some experts say, given the level of anger, it is highly likely that Pyongyang will conduct a ballistic missile launch or a fourth nuclear test before the drill is over on April 7th. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News, Pohang.
Our national defense correspondent Kim Hyun-bin reports from Pohang.
U.S. and South Korean Marines blaze across the water to secure the shoreline and their positions on Korea's southeastern coast. The Marines are here for the joint South Korea-U.S. amphibious landing exercise, dubbed Double Dragon.
It is highly likely that Pyongyang will conduct a ballistic missile launch or a fourth nuclear test before the drill is over on April 7th. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News, Pohang.
But at the same time, South Korea and the U.S. were holding the joint amphibious landing exercise in Pohang.
북한이 오늘 중 서해 해상 사격 한다고 통보했네요. 해상 사격 이거 통보했다는 거는 큰 미사일을 쏠 가능성이 크다는 건데 이 훈련 가능성도 크고요. 저번에 이 훈련을 많이 비난했어요. 전문가들은 이 훈련 도중에 7일날 끝나는데 이 훈련 도중에 이제 뭐 미사일이나 4차 핵실험 가능성도 있다 이렇게 말씀하셨거든요.
We begin with this breaking news. North Korea has fired 3 artillery shells into the West Sea earlier today on this Monday, and one of them has fallen.
North Korea launches another provocation out of the blue. Hyunbin was out in the field, so the news center delivered the breaking news.
Trading live fire across their disputed inter-Korean maritime border. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said that North Korea began its live fire drill a little past noon this Monday afternoon. A spokesperson for the Joint Chiefs of Staff said some of the shells fired by North Korea dropped in the South Korean region and that the South responded with fire.
Well, when I saw the news, when I saw all the headlines from all the medias, I was thinking, wow, I should have been there. It was the wrong time to go down. But North Korea is unpredictable, so I can't be on standby 24/7, just waiting for their provocation. If I have a story I have to go to and it's defense related, I have to be there.
A day later, before he could recover from his trip to Pohang, Hyunbin went straight to the Ministry of National Defense.
Hello and welcome. It's Monday, the 31st of March. You're tuned in to our 10 a.m. newscast here.
He was to deliver live coverage of the Defense Ministry's statement concerning North Korea's provocations the day before.
For the latest, we are going to connect live to our correspondent Kim Hyun-bin, who's standing by at the Ministry of National Defense in Seoul. Hyun-bin.
South Korea remains on high alert following Monday's exchange of hundreds of artillery rounds across the Western Sea border. Artillery rounds fired on Monday afternoon were from multiple rocket launchers, which lacked accuracy, especially compared to the precision of the K-9 self-propellant heavy artillery.
I got back pretty late from Pohang on Monday night, and while I was coming up, I got a call from the office saying that they want me to be at the Defense Ministry to connect live the next day. Because there's a briefing which is held every day, but it gives a total Defense Ministry perspective, Korean military perspective on what happened the day before. So they wanted me to do a live with the results. So I went to the Defense Ministry and did a live connection.
Since South and North Korea remain divided, a Defense Ministry correspondent must be on standby 24 hours a day. And Hyunbin's on the clock again today.